Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Legendary Leaders or Legend Leaders. I want to answer some of the questions that have been coming in about too much is just right. I've been sharing that publicly for a few weeks now. Privately in my own inner circle and with the clients, I've been sharing it for months. And so naturally, whenever I come out and I share this broadly, I get a lot of questions. Anytime I do something new, anytime you do something new, you get questions, right? Because people want to understand. And we all want to find a place where we fit in, and we all want to find a place where we're understood. It's just human nature. It's just very basic that we as humans want to feel understood and feel like we belong. And so when I announced this, there are a lot of women out there who are like, oh, this totally fits me. I love this. I belong in what I'm calling the too much crew. Okay. So I belong in the too much crew. This is totally me, Katrina. And I love it. I mean, I'm getting juice. I'm excited. I'm like, yes, this is great. We're bringing these women together. We're all going to support each other and move down this path together. And it's so exciting, right? It's so exciting to bring everyone together and do this. But then the questions start. And I love the questions because that's what I'm here for. And the questions start to happen. And so I'm here today because I want to answer the most basic question that I'm hearing quite frequently and most often. And so I want to arm you with the answer because maybe, just maybe, this is holding you back from stepping forward and claiming this group as your group, okay? And then owning this as your identity, right? Because our identities, I could spend, 3 or 4 different episodes talking about our identities, but let me just say that our identities are critical to us, right? It's how we define ourselves. And if we start to make an identity shift, that can be scary if we're not prepared for it. And so that's what a lot of women are going through right now. And let me help you with that. Let me walk you through what I'm talking about. So the most common question that I'm seeing right now is, hey, Katrina, I am in. I believe in what you're saying. Too much is just right. I have been told I am too much all the time. I'm too pretty. I'm too smart. I'm too confident. I'm too aggressive. I'm too whatever. Now, if I was maybe, and some women are saying this, I'm not saying this, but some women say, if I was a guy, I would be admired for those traits. But as a woman, I'm being told that I'm too much. And so it's not really fair, because if they would just give me the seat at the table, if they would just get out of my way, that's what I used to say. If you would just get out of my way, let me do this, I would be able to have it all under control. And so you're probably feeling the same. If they would just get out of your way, you get it done. So you're feeling all of those things. But then the next piece of the situation is this. The question is really here. And the question is, but how do I own that? Like, how do I admit to myself that this is where I am and I'm not wrong and I'm not missing a piece of me, or if I just did this a little bit better, I'd fit in. Like, how do I make that mindset shift? How do I go from feeling like I was never quite right and I had to keep striving to now embracing that I am exactly who I'm meant to be and I'm where I'm supposed to be in my life, mentally and emotionally. I may just not be where I need to be career-wise. And it's a great question. I mean, it really is. Because that self-doubt will come in and it will derail us every time. And so I'm here to tell you this, okay? And you probably know this at your core. It's a fundamental thing. But I'm going to say it for you because when I say it, it's going to remind you of the truth. Okay? And it's going to empower you to stay in that truth. And the answer is that, number one, we all do it, so you're not alone. But number two, the ultimate thing that you need to realize is that you are enough. You see, most of us, and pretty much every human that I know, we all feel like we're not enough, and if we're not enough, we won't be loved. Now, in the corporate world, we're not necessarily worrying about love and being loved, but we do want to be accepted and we do want to fit in, right? It goes back to my initial statement in this episode, that we all want to belong, that we want to find our group. I mean, think back to high school. For many of you, it may have been amazing. For many of you, equally, it may have been tormenting because you didn't fit in anywhere. You didn't find your place. Whereas some people found their place and it was perfect, and then now they're out there trying to find their place again. We all want to fit in. But our fear is that we're not enough. It's why you want to fit in so much in the corporate world. Not only have you committed your life to pursuing that career, But then what happens is we're told in some capacity, well, if you just make this slight adjustment, you're going to be on track. And so then what do? We start making these slight adjustments because we want to be on track. We want that job. We want to fit in. We want to have the career that we've been told to have, that was security and safety and significance, right? And a certainty that we could count on because it's a huge corporation. It's probably not going anywhere. All of those things meet our needs. We all have those 6 human needs, and I've talked about that in the past. The 6 human needs that are basic to all of us. And having that corporate job will meet that significance. It'll meet the certainty that we're looking for. You know, it'll meet a variety of those needs. The growth, we all want to grow. That's a human need. And so if people tell us we just need to adjust ourselves a little bit, that's growth. Oh, give me the chance. I want to grow. But at the end of the day, we hear that you just need to make this little tweak, and we embrace it, not because we want to grow per se, not in this instance, but we embrace it because inherently we think we're not enough. We all think that. Now, there may be different parts of our lives that we think that within. Maybe I'm not enough in my marriage or my relationship, or maybe I'm not enough as a parent. But you think you're fine in the corporate world. For other people, it's I'm perfect in my marriage. I'm great. We've got a great relationship, right? I'm enough for my spouse, but I'm not enough in my career. And my career matters, and I want to be successful in that space. So the answer is you can embrace the fact that you're not too much. You are perfect as you are. You may not be in the perfect situation to share your gifts. Stepping into the entrepreneurial world is just wide open to you. You can create the rules and use your gifts in whatever way you choose. And that's empowering, right? That's a freeing nature that you don't have in the corporate world. It can be a little scary, but it's still freeing, right? I can't not say that it's not scary. Anything that's a change is scary. But when you have people walking with you, when you get a coach, when you get a mentor, you're not alone. And so then it's not as scary. But at the end of the day, you can embrace the fact that you are maybe too much in the corporate world, but you're not wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You are perfect as you are. You were made perfectly. You're just not right in the right environment to share your perfection. You are enough. You're amazing and you are wonderful and you are enough as you are. And you're just not in the right environment to receive that appreciation, to be recognized for who you are and the gifts that you bring. And that's not your fault. And that's not you needing to change. That just means that, think back to high school. You may not have belonged in the artsy crowd. You may not have fit in another group, okay? Meanwhile, you may have been in the artsy crowd per se, and you didn't fit in with the cheerleaders, right? There were different groups in high school that you didn't fit into. Maybe you fit into all of them, okay? And I love that. That's amazing. But when you find your group that you fit into, it feels like coming home within ourselves. We're finally able to be ourselves. And so that's the message for today, is don't be afraid to admit that you are just right the way you are. You're just right. Too much is just right. You are enough. Find your group that shows you that you fit into, that you belong, that empowers you to know that you're just right. And we have the Too Much crew if you want to join us. But first step is to allow yourself to release that burden, to be free of those worries, and know that too much is just right.